All right, retail franchising. It starts with brick and mortar, meaning majority of brands aren't going to be online. I do see some e-commerce brands popping up that are offering franchising, but ultimately, you're looking at a brick and mortar investment that sells some sort of product back to your customer base. So when you're looking at that, you're going to look at the investment a little bit differently because most likely the cost, whenever there's retail involved, and you think of brick and mortar, you have like Children's Wellness, you have restaurants, you have the retail brands. You're going to invest a little bit more because your billboard ends up being your storefront. And so now you have to align what is the cost to get into what the potential you can make is. My recommendation is whenever you're looking at a brick and mortar investment, you're trying to line in a 3-year payback on initial investment. So let's say the investment is $600,000. You're going to want to see $600,000 kick off of that business in 3 years max. Now, sometimes you might go over that if you're super passionate about the business or you're well capitalized and you can afford to wait 4 or 5 years for a payout that could be larger than that. But you're going to want to work through that channel. Obviously, you want to make sure that the franchisor knows how to market this business because you're going to be in the business of driving customers in. And so sometimes that can take a little bit of energy, but it's really built around the marketing behind the business. So one question that I would advise you ask franchisees when you are performing your due diligence is, how is the marketing plan to help me get one of these open? It's going to give you another insight into making sure that your expectations are aligned properly with the big investment that you're about to make. Now you think about the structure around a retail investment, and retail investment can also be the massage brands, the IV drip brands. Like there's retail components, wellness retail. Those are somewhat interchangeable. But when you're looking at these businesses, most of them you're not buying the unit, you're not buying the land. And so now you want to look at, what does the real estate selection look like? How does the franchisor help me on finding the right location? What are they going to do to make sure that I don't limp into the wrong location? What data do they have on what the right location is? So the real estate selection ends up being a critical part of this process. Just like any of my other videos, a few things. One, you can go to 1851franchise.com. There's a great masterclass on there on how to buy a franchise. I'll walk you through what is an FDD. It's very educational, super powerful to help you figure out what is franchising. So when you go through this process, you know what it is. And per my other piece of advice from other videos, the rule of 3, have enough capital to buy 3. Maybe not sign 3 units on day 1, sign 1, reserve that capital to operate that business, get business unit 1 going, and then scale it to 2, 3, 4, 5 locations so that you've engineered a system and you haven't leveraged your capital too much and not have the bandwidth to really scale it. And then when you find a brand in the category that you like, I would do a roadmap of all the competitors, and then you start saying, okay, what's the good, the bad, and the ugly on all of these, so that at least you're doing a comparison to the other brands in that segment or that match your competitor brands. Because you'll find things, I like this about brand A, I don't like this about brand B, I appreciate this about brand C. And so now it can start flying you to the right brand that would align to what you're trying to get to. I think too often, and I've seen this in some of the questionnaires that we've done, a franchise buyer limits their search and only looks at 1 or 2 brands. But this is a big investment. And you're about to put a portion of your life savings into this to hopefully build up an asset that builds wealth. I would just make sure you're doing your homework and finding the right opportunity. I'm here to help you if you're interested. Fill out the form on the Growth Club, and we'll make sure to reach out and help coach you into the right opportunity for you.